Hey guys, so in this video today I'm going to be showing you how to wire an electric guitar without a soldering iron. So if you don't have a soldering iron, or if you prefer to do something relatively quickly. So the need for this has arisen because just recently for my birthday I bought myself this 1986 Japanese made Vantage Avenger guitar off Gumtree. The plan was that I was just going to clean the whole thing, which I did do, but in the process of cleaning the plastics I ended up accidentally breaking the wiring connection for the neck pickup. So what I ended up doing was not throwing that pickup out because it's vintage, but buying a Wilkinson Hot Rails pickup off of eBay. So I've already sort of skipped the first part of the process, but what I had to do was take both pickups off and then pull the wire through from here and all the way over to there. All I've done to now is put the pickup in. Had to obviously take all the strings off, and the wire is out this side. So you can see it's a Wilkinson M Series Hot Rails pickup. Now what I'm going to be doing is showing you a way of connecting the wiring without having to do any soldering. The first thing is this brown wire here. I'm going to come in a little bit closer there. This brown wire here is the original brown wire that was connected to the neck pickup. This grey wire here with 4 wires coming out is the wire from the new Wilkinson pickup. The first thing I'm going to be doing is cutting the brown wire down. I'm not changing the length of the grey wire or any of the leads coming from the Wilkinson, just in case I want to put it into a different guitar. But the brown cable, because I have too much length currently, I'll be cutting this down. Cut it down to same length as the Wilkinson. I'm going to try and strip first the brown cable. So I'm going to strip that from a similar length to the Wilkinson. So I'm going to have to separate the shield cable out from here. Get the shield on its own. There you go. So the shield on the brown cable is on its own. I'm just going to twist it a little bit just to get it to stay relatively still. The next thing I'm going to do is to strip these leads a little bit so that I can play with them. You don't need a special tool to strip these. You can just use normal wire cutters. You just have to be very careful how hard you push, especially on these older 40-year-old wires at this point almost. So there you go. Strip those. I'm just going to come in a little bit closer. So that's the brown wire. Now here on the Wilkinson, I'm just going to strip these a bit as well so that they're usable. Now I've got these 3 wires as well, all stripped. I'm just going to cut. So this here is actually the ground and the south of the bottom part of the humbucker. So I'm actually going to strip this not strip, I'm going to cut the end of this so it's the same length as the other. For this new part of the wiring, so the newly stripped part of the wiring, is I'm going to use some heat shrink, and I'm going to put that on the shielded part. So I'm just going to cut the heat shrink to the right size first. So that's just to basically sit on the shield part of the wiring and just make sure that that part here isn't touching anything. Pretty good. Okay, so now essentially got 2 sets of wires. Now the trick, what we're using today, terminals. So little terminal connectors. And what we're going to do is we're going to use 3 of these, I think. We may need to use 4, but I think 3 at this point, to basically connect the wires between the original wiring and the new wires. This old Vantage guitar has 3 switches, little mini switches. The 3 switches will individually turn each of the pickups on. So you've got each of those 3 switches there. So originally the top switch, which is for the neck pickup, what it did was it would put the neck pickup either in or out of phase. The first thing we're going to do on the actual Wilkinson wiring is we're going to connect the white and the red. So what that is the connection between the top and the bottom coil and the Wilkinson. The top and the bottom are now connected, so it will be a humbucker. We can use this wire here to split the humbucker via the switch. So normally what you do if you just want it to be a humbucker is you would take this off. What we're going to do is we're actually going to put this into the switch configurations. The red connector on here on the brown wire, which is from the old wiring, that is the top toggle. So on the switch for the neck pickup, if you go to the top, it'll be this red connection, and that's when I want it to be in a single coil configuration. So what we're going to do, we've got little terminals here. So what we're going to do is undo. See in there, I'm just going to undo the screw, take it out a little bit, take it out enough so that we can fit the wires in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to wrap the red wire as well in with the red and the white from the Wilkinson. Now what I'm also going to do here is I'm going to put a little piece of heat shrink there so that those wires don't come apart. Okay, so with this, with the wires that we're connecting, what we're going to do is we're going to bend them back on itself like that. So let's go zoom back in here. And then we're going to use this terminal, put the wire in the terminal, and then screw the terminal down. Okay, so that's now tight on there. And this is just going to sit in here. It's all protected. None of the metal parts are going to touch anything, and that's just going to sit in the cavity. On the brown wire, there was a blue wire connected. That is the equivalent of the black from the Wilkinson. So that's essentially just going to ground. So the shield is on the Wilkinson is just going with the black, which is the bottom of the pickup. The bottom of the bottom pickup pole becomes the reference. We're going to wire those together. First thing is to wire them together. The next thing is to fold it back on itself. Unscrew the terminal. Okay, now we're going to put this in here, like we did before. Screw that down. Cool, got two terminals here, and we only have one more wire left. The last thing we have left is the yellow from the Wilkinson. So the yellow on the Wilkinson is the hot wire. So that's the top of the top pickup. And the wire that we're wiring it to is the white wire from the old connection, which is essentially the bottom switch. So if I switch that neck switch downwards, so we're just going to spin those together there like that. Going to fold back on itself like this. And there you go. So, I've never actually done this before. I've thought about it working in theory, and there you go. So now we're going to actually try it out and make sure that everything works. Very careful not to put any stress on the actual connections. So let's just sort of push those down into there. Just going to let it sit like that. Quickly screw this back together. Make sure that it works. And if there's any issues, may have to come back and troubleshoot those, but hopefully everything's okay. Tube amp warmed up to my side. What I'm going to do is plug it in, same take, and make sure that that top pickup is working now. Hopefully the guitar's still tuned as well. Take it up to standby. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. This is the top switch here. In the middle position, it's not doing anything. All these in the middle position right now. So what I'm going to do is put just that pickup on. See how it goes. And I'm just going to try it with a little bit of distortion. And there you have it. That's how to wire up a guitar or a new pickup into a guitar without using a soldering iron. So yeah, that's the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.